Hello and welcome to the Tyrant In Training podcast. I am the host, Kevin Ryan. This little podcast invites guests on to rule over their own country in any way they like. Today's guest is Andrea Bridges-Smith. Andrea, you are, and I'm kind of asking you, I'm not telling you, but you are the CEO of Fenix, which is do I have it right, as a TV development company, production company?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, I feel like I'm telling you what your job is. So you are producer, writer, comedian, actor?
Sure, I edit sometimes too.
Yes.
I make a pretty decent Swedish meatball. So yeah, I got a lot of things going on.
Oh, I was going to say, so you also have a weekly Friday night news short. Sorry, I'm all tongue-tied, but like a weekly series comedy.
Yes, it's a weekly satirical news show called the Friday Fenix. And that's where we take a look at some of the weirder things that have happened in the world each week and make fun of them.
Is that in mostly like news in the US, or is it just anywhere in the world as well?
We do cover some international news. So
yeah.
There was a story today that I found very interesting about a guy driving the world's smallest car. And he was trying to go on some long journey with it, and it broke down after a few hundred yards, and that was in Britain, and that was a lot of fun.
do you think so it was a guy who was driving the car, right?
Yeah, he was trying to, it was something for charity. I'm not sure how that works, but
that's what I was thinking. Did he do all the publicity beforehand, going, look what I'm going to do? And then
he did. He was playing bagpipes in this video and then got in the car, and it just very quickly just broke down.
That is just ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up now. Okay, so do you think, because as I said, on this podcast, we have a guest on who decides what they want to do with their own country. You can do whatever you want. You can be maniacal, tyrannical, malevolent, benevolent, whatever you want. Do you think, because you have so many hats on with filmmaking in general, and then being a comedian, do you think that in your country you'll be very approachable to your citizens, or will you be standoffish? Nobody can see you without.
I think definitely very approachable, but there will absolutely be some tyranny for sure.
A little bit of tyranny, yeah. Do you think that you will start your rule with tyranny and then mellow out, or will you come in where everyone thinks, oh my God, she's so great, and then the tyranny will begin?
I feel like I have a lot of pent up anger from the past couple of years, as one does.
Yes.
And there is some very common sense shit. Can I say bad words, first of all?
Honestly, okay? I have no idea at this point. Some episodes are very clean. Others have been less so. So go with it. Yeah, I'm actually taking the guest lead on it.
Okay, great. I tend to say a lot of bad words, so apologies in advance if I fuck this entire thing up by doing so. But I feel like there's a lot of just common sense shit that needs to get fixed. Yes. Someone just needs to decree it. We need to stop having the debate, and we just need to have a little benevolent tyranny where it's like, you know what? Yes. Fossil fuels, they're a problem. We're fixing it.
Right.
The end.
Yeah. Someone has to. Was it grab the bull by the horn?
Yes, exactly. And I'm ready to grab some horns, but also I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
So all of my tyranny will be as benevolent as possible.
So what we could say is, I mean, you're giving the speech before you head off out to the ocean, because what we do is on this podcast, we don't take over a country. So we don't take a piece of America and say, no, that's your land.
Oh,
we pop up an island somewhere in the world and say, you found the island, you're the ruler. So you leave the US and you say all that, someone needs to take charge of shit, and you go. So where in the world do you think you would find this island?
I like the idea of like a South Pacific, where it's just lovely and scenic.
Yes.
That sounds good.
So you want warm weather. Well, I suppose you're living in Texas. So I mean, warm weather is just a given for you.
Yes. It would take quite a bit of adjustment to do something in like the Arctic for me. I don't have the wardrobe for it. So I feel like a, sort of Tahitian type area would really suit the amount of shorts that I have in my closet.
So are we going like west of Central America or the east? Like, are we going near the Caribbean?
Let's go west, because I feel like there's a lot of hurricanes in the Caribbean.
Right.
Maybe there are on the other side too, and I just don't know as much about them. But
so are we going near where Jurassic Park always set their locations, right? I think they're like west of Chile or something. Well, maybe you're a bit north of it, but yeah, okay, cool. Usually the islands have been their population is about 10 million people. So your island is going to be big enough for 10 million people. And it's going to be balmy by the sound of it. So I'm just going to hit you with names I'm going to write these down. Do you have any idea what people are meant to call you, what your official title is? Because you can call yourself whatever you want. You don't have to be a queen or president or whatever.
That's a good question. Let's see. I would like something that's, not going to immediately inspire alarm, like Supreme or Overlord. I feel like is a bit much.
Yeah, a bit harsh.
Yeah, kind of gets their hackles up. What about like a prime minister or a premier? That sounds fairly
Premier
benign,
is very nice, a bit classier than premier sounds nice. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, do we just say premier?
Sure. Let's go with that.
If anyone comes in to say premier, done. And just I've realized as I've been recording these episodes, I might need to put in a disclaimer. Myself, I was classifying myself as just an advisor in your inner circle. I would say I'm more of a disembodied voice, so you can't actually fire me. Or anything like that, because sometimes maybe previous rulers might have thought I need to get rid of that guy. He's not doing very well. So just so you know, I'm just taking notes and letting you know what's happening. But yeah, cool. Premier, I'm all with it. Do you have any idea what the name of your country would be?
Oh, that's another good question. Again, want something that's, kind of fun and inspiring. But then I think, am I trying to get more people to move there? I don't know if that's the case. I kind of want to like sort things out. So I don't want it to be, too appealing.
Yeah.
I think I want to go with something that's like, involves with landforms. What's on this island? Are there mountains, trees?
Oh, honestly, you can pick what's on your island. I mean, when we're terraforming it, you can, yeah.
Great. Okay. Then we're going to go with, let's go with a dormant volcano.
Dormant volcano. Yes.
Yeah. We don't like the active ones. Those are scary. But a dormant one usually has some cool shit around it. So we'll go with a dormant volcano. So what about something as simple as like Volcania?
Volcania.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So this, I mean, that is going to be surely a tour site. I mean, that's going to be a big feature.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Volcania. The premier has set up in Volcania. I'm just going to see in my list of usual questions. Do you have any ideas for, I'll call them like royal garbs or official, premier outfit?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I like the long flowy robe type situation, but it's going to be, again, pretty warm there.
Yes.
Between, the heat from the subterranean volcanic activity and, the sun and being close to the equator. So, maybe like a nice lightweight fabric, lots of flowy, like tulle, perhaps.
So does silk work or what?
Silk, I feel like might not be as absorbent as we're going to need for this warm climate. So, I'm not sure what the perfect fabric is, but
I mean,
lots of layers.
Should we get our Department of the Interior to look into like Roman togas or Greek togas, see what they were made out of? Yes,
that's a very solid idea. I love a toga. Yes, and then you get like a one shoulder action, which is very asymmetrical and fun.
If anything, you could model, because I don't know, but when you think of togas, you think of 1000. I don't know, you think of 1 AD or something like that. You don't think of modern times. So maybe Volcania could bring them back in a way.
I don't see why we couldn't.
Okay, I'll just put down long flowy robe, look into togas.
Yes.
Okay.
The Department of Textiles, hop right on that toga situation.
Textiles, yes. Do you know who's in charge of that department? Do you have a first name for them, or I can put someone in charge if you want?
I would put like a Christian Siriano or a Billy Porter, perhaps, because they're always fabulously dressed. They'll come up with something really good.
Rightio, Billy Porter. I'm just going to put down because I know how to spell that name.
Great.
Okay, right. They're in charge of textile department. Okay. So as you're set up now, actually, what we'll do is we need to set up your home. So where do you want your official home to be on the island? Or what type type home?
Somewhere up high, like you should have to work, you should have to go up a hill, you should get some exercise getting up there,
Yes.
And maybe not on the side of the volcano, but maybe overlooking the volcano, because I feel like that'll be very scenic. But yes, something up high. A lot of columns. We want columns. I'm feeling very Greek. I love this Greek influence.
Yes. So that you'll have the house will be up on columns.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I'm just going to write down like columned house. Is that place going to be where you are going to do your government business? Or are you going to go into an office in the capital?
No, I think I would like for everyone to come to me.
Love it.
Yeah. The commute. Why do I want to commute? No.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have remote things. I'll be here chilling out. You guys come. I'll have a little office, where people can come in and we can talk about things. And then, maybe we just sit out by the pool and solve it out there. Why couldn't we?
Yes.
It sounds just as nice to do that. Scenery is very nice. We can look at the volcano while we discuss what we're going to do about the volcano.
So everyone is going to come towards you. Truth be told, that is my favorite one. I prefer that to people to say, no, I'll go into the office. You're like, I mean, you are the ruler. You can do what you want, but okay, fine if you want to commute. But we can definitely do that. I should ask as well, when we're setting up the government, usually I give two options to people. So do you want, when people show up, your citizens, do you want to let them vote for like 100 senators to go into a Senate and they'll run the daily life of Volcania? Or do you want to just appoint your own inner circle and that's it? There's no, you're in charge. Your people are in charge.
I think there's arguments to be made for both of those options. On the one hand, people should be represented by the people who are like them.
Yes. So
it seems unfair to just show up and be like, fuck you bitches, I brought some friends and we're going to figure it out.
Yes.
So that being said, should the people elect someone that is unsuitable, I think I should get veto power. So I don't know if over in Ireland you are familiar with a Senator Ted Cruz here in Texas.
Yeah, it's a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So if the people elect a Ted Cruz, I get to say absolutely not. Try again, but not that one.
So so they can vote for senators if they are, and I'll use, I think an Irish saying, but taking the piss and elect Ted Cruz, you get to go, absolutely not, try again. Or do you just say, absolutely not,
exactly.
You've tried once, I'll elect someone on that count. Screw that up. Or do you want to give them another
try one more time? I will let them try one more time. And then after that, it's like, you people clearly don't know what you're doing. And you have to run out of Ted Cruz's at some point, one would hope, but.
Will you, when you say you'll give them one more chance, do you just mean on that election of that senator or the whole Senate in general?
Just on that one particular senator.
Yeah. I think that's
if
fair.
Everyone else is, picked some appropriate people, and they don't all have to be exactly the same, but they cannot be Ted Cruz. That part is very important to me.
So we're kind of calling it the Ted Cruz clause.
Yes, we will call it the Cruzian override.
Cruzian, that is very well done. Yes, Cruzian override.
I got to tell you, I am drunk with power already.
I mean, that's the only way to do it, to be honest. There have been a few cases where I've been trying to get people to be tyrannical, and they're like, I would let people have their rights, and I'm like, damn, but that's fine. So we kind of have the country set up, just the logistics, like the naming and stuff. Now people are going to arrive to the island, just to make sure. Do you want anyone at the what you call them? We'll call them the border guards. Do you want them to have any restrictions in place for people who want to join the island? Or do you want just let whoever, the first 10 million who show up, they can come in? Or do you want to stop anyone who dislikes the color pink?
Let's see. There are certain political figures and groups that will not be allowed in. So anybody who is like a QAnon conspiracy theorist that's, over in Dallas waiting for JFK Jr. to come back from the dead.
Right. Yes. I mean, you'd think it would be a given, but no.
Yes, he has died.
Right.
And remains dead. So he can't come in either. for that reason. But anybody who thinks that that's going to happen, not interested, not here for the cray-cray, sail back on home. Obviously, Ted Cruz is not going to be allowed in.
Right.
Really, he and I have beef.
Anyone called Ted Cruz, or that specific?
That specific one.
Okay, because yeah.
Although any others, we should double check before we let him.
keep an eye. Okay, we will harshly double check. I will just put down.
Yes.
Do you want to stop any? Because you said no JFK Juniors. Are we stopping anyone who believes they are JFK Junior?
Yes.
Any impersonators or?
I think it's probably a good idea to do like a quick psychological evaluation on everybody.
Okay.
You know, so people who have been in therapy for a while, by all means, come on in.
Yeah.
People who have, you know, undealt with childhood traumas, I'm going to need you to sort that out before you come on in here. Like, go deal with your shit. This is not where we fix you. This is where we deal with the fixed to make things even better. Right.
We are at work here. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, we're clearly going to get 10 million people in fairly rapidly anyway. I mean,
yes,
the picture of the volcano alone and the fact that the storm is going to help. So one group came into your country, into your airport. It was a documentary crew. So when they were driving out, because they're going to ground filming, they saw a billboard that said, "Welcome to Volcania." We just need to find out, what do you want to put on the billboard as the big welcome sign to your country? What image or like what slogan or whatever you want to put on it?
I like "Welcome to Volcania. It doesn't suck."
It doesn't
and then
suck.
Maybe like a thumbs up kind of a situation. So when you see it, you're like, you know, it gives you a little bit of a laugh. You're like, oh, that's fun. Like, let's start off the relationship with fun, you know?
Do you think, we just got word back from the designers, they did a not a petition, a survey. Some people are thinking it means "Welcome to Volcania, it doesn't suck thumb." Do we need to are you happy with that? Just leave it, or will I?
All right, maybe we toss the thumb.
Is that the slogan?
The slogan, and we have like maybe the flag.
Okay, so toss the thumb is the slogan.
No.
Sorry.
That would be a really weird. Can you imagine the impression that people would get driving in, and that's the billboard that they see? Toss the thumb is like,
toss the thumb.
Is that a game that they play here? Is that like a sexual thing? Is that a euphemism for butt stuff? What's happening there?
Would you be interested though in Volcania? Would you ask more questions? Would that documentary crew go, "We need to get on that"?
Yeah, it would be. I think I would be sorely intrigued by all of it.
But I can leave it out. Okay, so it doesn't suck. I'll put that in there. I'll get back onto him and say put that in there. And do you want any image on it, or?
Let's do like the flag, the country's flag.
Yes.
And maybe the volcano.
What is the country's flag, by the way?
Oh, I think, you know, there's a trend in flags going back. Is it a trend if they all decided 200 years ago? But there's stripes. That seems to be the way to go when you're doing. You do different colors of stripes, right?
Yeah.
So I think we do like a blue and a green and a yellow, because they're all very soothing colors, very appropriate to an island nation, I think, you know?
Actually, yes, you're right. They're very relaxing colors.
Yes, we'll just do some stripes with that. People love stripes on a flag.
Are you going to put them down, how do I say, like blue on top, then in the middle, what do you say, green, and then yellow? Yeah,
we'll do like a little ombre type effect. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, we can do that. And then with actually, this is going to be interesting because it looks like the flag of someone. I don't know, it didn't actually come up. Rwanda, possibly.
Oh dear.
Oh, actually,
Rwandans?
Do you know what? No, I think you're okay because the yellow and green are switched. So I think we're legally okay.
Well, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, they did a really good job on this flag.
I love it.
I would do a lighter shade of green though.
Oh, really?
Maybe instead of a sun, we do a volcano.
Yes, up on the top right where the sun is.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get on that.
I like that.
Plus, I don't think there is any volcanoes on any flags.
Oh, well, let's do something about that then.
There, see? Okay.
That's how we change the world.
Good. Okay, starting that off. So we're just going to ask you, What unusual list is your country top of in the world?
Unusual list. Let's see. What do we want the country to be known for?
And when
I
I say
think
unusual, I suppose I just mean not we have the best healthcare. You're like, that's just admirable. It's not unusual.
I think maybe I would like for us to be the best at like fruit production, like, lots of pineapples.
Pineapples.
I really like pineapples, and it's a tropical island and there's a volcano, and that seems like the place where you'd get pineapples from. So I want to be really good at like pineapples and tangerines and things like that. I want to have the world's best fruit salad. That's what I want us to go for.
Should we go for fruit salad, specifically fruit salad?
Specifically fruit salad, yes. Any old jerk can grow fruit, but we're going to be the best at fruit salad.
Highest rated fruit salad in the world.
Yes.
I was going to say that, you have like Irish whiskey, Belgian chocolate, Volcanian tangerines or fruit salad, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll have a culinary institute to just study only fruits and fruit salad.
So many people have said in their unusual list, like food was based around, but I think you're the only person who went for fruit. Everything else is like pig out on chocolate or something. You're like, yeah, interesting. But yeah, no, so far it's going great. It's very sunny, volcanic, but sunny.
Yes.
We did get some bad news that I need to come to. By the way, when we go to your house, is it just more like an office, or I'm kind of thinking, in Lord of the Rings where they go to Elrond, like it's very picturesque, or is it more of a throne room?
So a throne room sounds a bit formal to me. So I'm thinking more like an Oval Office type situation,
Yes.
where it's like, okay, that's a nice big office. But also if you go down the hallway just a bit, there's a big party room.
Yes.
You got a room for your press conferences. You got, your private residence type area that's away from everything else. So that, to me, that seems to be a good model. There's a little bit of everything.
Do you want a lot of windows in there as well? Do you want to let in a lot of light, right?
Too many windows.
Yeah, because
overabundant windows.
in fairness, I don't remember now just to my mind's eye the Oval Office, but I always thought I could do with more windows.
Yeah, there aren't that many. You're right.
Just so when we get into the premiere, to let you know, look, we have bad news to tell you. There is a scandal that's about to get out about you.
Okay.
Again, I usually tell people this is a light entertainment podcast, so nothing where you murdered 28 million people. That's not really a scandal. That's a travesty. But
sure,
more whimsical. The good thing is you get to pick what scandal about you gets out to the people that will embarrass you, or they might be a bit annoyed by you. What scandal do you want people to find out about?
Oh goodness. I think that I burped at a state dinner, because that is not outside the realm of possibility.
Right.
Given the way I've been eating lately. I really should be veering more towards the fruit salad, but I've had a lot of fried foods recently. So if I were at a state dinner, it's definitely possible. And, that makes me seem relatable to the people. Well, so, there's going to be a certain contingent that's outraged and clutching their pearls, but most people are going to be like, yeah, I've done that. And that will just make me even more likable to the populace, I think.
Well, the thing about the scandal is, you see, the state dinner was in aid of the largest charity in the country, which was for starving people, people who needed to be fed. So they saw you burping right at the time that they said we struggle to eat, as a mocking burp, because you said you were eating fried food. Yeah, so they kind of saw it as you lording over them, ha ha ha, I've so much to eat, I have to burp it out of my mouth. So they're a bit annoyed by that. So what we figured, Brian from the PR department, I guess, he figured that maybe you should go on to the highest rated news channel in the country, just to explain. When politicians sit down with the interviewer and they're both in seats, and it's all very serious, and they ask them. So we just want to know what lame, easily see-through bullshit political, just as a random example, I had to take my kids to Cancun excuse do you want to give to fend off criticism of the burp gate?
I'm going to invent a digestive disorder and say it's a
Yes.
medical thing because nobody can get mad at you about that. But
Right.
then I would like to take it a step farther and say, why are there people starving? Let's fix that and unveil my people aren't going to starve anymore plan.
Right. What is that? I'll just act as the interviewer. Yes.
Yeah. First, you got to get the food, and then you got to get the food to the people that need it. And so that's it.
Free food.
Where's the food? Collect the food, give it to the people who don't have the food and can't afford to buy the food. And then everyone's got food, right?
Free food.
Free food.
Right. So you're saying you had a medical condition.
Yes.
That caused a burping, and in regards to the food issue, we're sorting that out. Free food, everything else. Do you know what the name of the illness is? Speaking as the interviewer, can you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think there is a part of the stomach or intestine or something called pylori. So pyloritis.
Pyloritis. Okay.
That sounds like a thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It sounds like that, or a Greek city.
We're really drawing a lot from the Greeks
and
today.
Why as again, just as the interviewer in this interview, why haven't you been providing free food for these people? Now, just to say, these people aren't just in your country, they are in many places in the world. It's a big charity.
Okay. So it's not necessarily that my own people are starving, which they should never be if I'm the ruler.
Yeah. There's a few, but it's not the main part of it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get them sorted out. But yeah, other people, here's what we should do.
Yes.
We should have a summit with other nations about this problem, and then we can tell them how we fixed it, and then we can pledge aid to help them fix it. And we should call them out publicly for having not fixed it before, because that shouldn't be a problem for anyone.
Right. Now, they will criticize you for, they will bring up the video of you burping directly into a starving 112-year-old man's face.
How did he make it that long with no food? That's quite a feat.
A lot of willpower and hate. That is Fred.
May we all be made of such stern stuff. Well, again, I have to tell them you can't make fun of my medical affliction that I just invented because it's medical, and that's now you're the asshole.
Right, now they are standing beside Fred's family. Fred slipped into a coma. He's fine. He will be out of it in a few months. Just to put that in, it's not getting that dark, but he did slip into a coma after the burping. So they're kind of pushing back on that. But otherwise, polls show, I mean, people are kind of buying it, going, yeah, no, it's a medical issue, that's fine. Fair enough. So yeah, I think you're getting out of that interview pretty handy.
All our best to Fred.
Yes, I'll add that. All our best.
A role model for our times. Maybe let's make a statue of Fred. We're going to put the statue of Fred out in the courtyard.
Oh, what's the statue? What's he doing? Is it just him standing posing, or?
Just him standing, being stoic, just stoically standing in bronze. People
aren't quite sure, is he stoic or hungry? But they do appreciate the gesture. They kind of saw when you put out a press release saying, all our best to Fred, he is a role model for our times. Unfortunately, a grammar error, spelling error, meant that we spelt it as a roll, R-O-L-L, and people took that to mean like a breakfast roll, a bread roll. So they thought that was a little dig. So people are a bit annoyed by that. But hey, otherwise,
so they think we want to eat Fred now.
Yeah. Well, they think you want to eat Fred in a way, or take a bite out of him.
I mean, I don't want to be an asshole, but there's not any meat on the poor man's bones.
Oh God, these comments are just being taken so wildly out of context, and yet
that's just between you and me. That's not.
Oh, sorry, this is still the interview. This is all being recorded. Okay, so as far as the scandal goes, that it's pretty low, mild. Scandal. We did get news from the Department of, I mean, would you call it war or defense or whatever you want to call it? Your military guys.
I like the Department of War. It's very straightforward. It's very honest about, here's what we're up to.
Yeah, we're doing, they got an email from the UN. World War III is kicked off, unfortunately. So the UN kind of figures, look, the easiest way we're going to get around this is if every country has to go to war with another country. You just have to, look, we're all at it. So they want to ask you, what country do you want to go to war with? And what do you want to tell your citizens why you're going to war?
That's interesting. Who would I want to go to war with?
Who, I have an idea, but what country is... Ted is nervous, but...
Yes, I suppose I can't go to war with Ted Cruz specifically. So I think we need like an asshole country, like a country that's being assholes, but that's small enough to where our military could do something about it.
Right.
Not Russia, lovely country, has some challenges, pretty big military. I don't know that I want to go toe to toe with them. I would maybe leave them for a larger country.
Yeah, someone's bound to have picked them already.
Sure, yeah. So we'd want somebody kind of further down the list. It's a bit more gettable.
Yes.
And I'm having trouble kind of thinking of the right country, in terms of the name. But are there any little pissant countries that have like a mean dictator that is all about like just me, and his people are starving, and that kind of a situation? I mean, surely there's one of those out there, right, that we could go to war with?
I mean, I could look for the most like starving country in the world.
Starving because their ruler is a dickhead. If they're starving because they're starving, then we don't want to.
I mean, you'd have apparently, and this is just a really quick Google search to be honest, but Chad was the most affected by hunger and malnutrition in the world. So I mean,
my husband's name is Chad, so that could be a little awkward for me
and confusing. Yes, to the generals. East Timor would be another one, I believe. That is that's in Southeast Asia.
Sure, they're having some issues right now.
I believe, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. We're going to war to liberate the Timorians.
I'm not quite sure because I know it's either pronounced East Timor or Timor Leste. I'm not quite sure. Apologize, but yeah, I guess Timorians. I hope I'm saying that right.
Okay.
So you're going to tell the people. I suppose. How are you going to announce your council of generals are all around you and they're like, what can we do, Premier?
Yeah, I would say, what is the absolute fastest we could wrap this up? Because there's a lot of good stuff coming out on Netflix and Hulu and all the streaming services. And, we don't want this to be like a protracted, like 20-year situation. So is it, I like the idea of like a surgical strike. It's like, okay, if the leader of the country is a total asshole, and if that leader were gone, then everything else would be fine. Then let's just go in, grab that guy. We're going to bring him over here. Well, let's do this. This is a good idea. Inside the volcano, we can have volcano jail.
Yes.
And we can get that guy and we'll put him in the volcano jail, right? And so it's a dormant volcano. It's warm in there, so he might get a little sweaty.
Yeah.
But won't be eaten alive by lava or anything like that.
Plenty of thinking time. Yeah.
Yes. Volcano jail. That's what we do. Surgical strike, volcano jail, peace among both nations, prosperity, free fruit salad for everybody.
So you're not bombing the country, so to speak. You're getting who you need to get out of there. Yeah. Are you looking to take over this country now and then try to like administer it,
oh no,
changes?
I think maybe we take a local person that we like but isn't our favorite. We want to keep our favorites with us, but maybe there's somebody that we like that's not our favorite but we think is a good person, and we're going to install them.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, as long as they're okay with it. But it's like, again, last time you guys picked.
You assume they'll be on board. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, this is going to be way better than the last one.
Yeah. And when you're telling your people, look, we're going to be doing this, you're hitting the food and hunger point hard, right? You're saying we're doing this
Exactly.
because of that. We're going to sort it out.
Exactly.
Cool. I'll tell all the generals and lieutenants to go in hard, but on specific people, not just in general.
Yes.
And start building the volcano jails.
Right.
Cool. By the way, just on the domestic front, what mundane thing is banned in your country that might necessarily be banned anywhere else in the world?
Ooh, a mundane thing that is banned. You know that very specific type of mustard that's like the yellow mustard, like the bright yellow?
I think I do. Like Coleman's mustard is in England, I think, anyway, but yeah, it's in Ireland. But,
yeah, so I love like a brown mustard. I love a Dijon mustard.
Okay,
but
yes.
I very specifically hate that bright yellow type of mustard. So none of that.
That's just not allowed in the country.
None. No.
What are we doing with people who smuggle it in?
In
fruit salads.
We put them in the harbor with a boat and we make them row for a long time.
Are they tied to the harbor? So they're just rowing in place?
They're just in a rowboat and they have to row for a while. I mean, they're getting exercise out of it, but they're going to be sore afterwards, and that'll make them think twice about the mustard thing again next time.
It's a very healthy form of torture in a way. So how long are they doing that for? Are we talking days, hours, weeks, months?
Oh no, I think an hour should be sufficient.
Oh, okay. Any repeat offenders? Are we doing anything harsher? Or?
Yeah, maybe you add an hour each time.
Ah, okay. I mean, to be honest, someone who's looking to get into shape might just be like a lot of people around January might decide, I'm going to bring in some mustard. I need to hit the harbor for an hour.
Yeah, maybe we should have some kind of like January fitness kickoff event where it's like everyone come down to the harbor, grab a boat, and we're gonna row around the island.
Oh, cool! That's quite cool.
Have it'll be like a boat marathon.
Yes, I can't remember. Yeah, they do have like sailing World Cups and stuff. So you really hit that around the volcano. Oh, the setting with the volcano in the yes.
So pretty, right? You get good exercise. Good. You're doing it as a group, so it's like a group bonding type situation. And plus, I really like boats. So the more things we can do involving boats, the better.
We do have a problem, unfortunately. The captain of the police, Adam, he is after coming along. He's after telling us. So a lot of people wanted to get into shape and they needed money as well to join a gym. But what they figured out is they were smuggling the bright yellow mustard into the country to give to some of the few starving people who were using it on fruit salad and stuff. They see it as a gain to get arrested anyway, because they can make their money, smuggle it, and then get down to the harbor for a quick hour or 2 hour or 3 hour. Unfortunately, it's got to the point where they're doing so many hours down at the harbor. They are so incredibly fit. They are easily sailing away from the police anytime we try and catch them. So I don't know, do you want to, we just try our best? So I tell Adam, look, get on it, or do you want to?
I mean, this sounds like a job for volcano jail.
Oh, we're going as far as volcano jail now.
Yeah, I mean,
sweat it out of them.
I feel like we were pretty lenient for a while. And, once you're too lenient, people start to take advantage of you. And so then you have to kind of drop the hammer a little bit. And so they're going to go in there with the president from the other country that we got in there.
Declared one of the worst dictators in the world. So you have as you declare, one of the worst dictators in the world who has starved his people, alongside Mary, who has incredible arms and legs, like from exercise. Okay, fine. I'll mention that. What celebrations are organized on your birthday for your citizens to celebrate you?
Oh, on my birthday? On my birthday, we do a very large karaoke party, and that's I think people shouldn't be required to participate, but it should be strongly encouraged. The more participation, the merrier. And I think I should get to assign people songs if I want to.
Oh, good.
So if there are certain people, like for example, the bad president that's in the volcano jail, we're going to bring him out, and I'm going to make him do like the worst song.
Right.
Something really hard. Like I'm going to make him do a Beyonce song, like,
God, yes.
We'll do, what's the name of that song? It's really fast. Crazy in Love by Beyonce. I tried that at karaoke once.
Right.
It's incredibly difficult. It requires a lot of lung power.
Yes.
And there's, dance moves that go with it. So we're going to make him do that.
If he is refusing to, do we intimidate him, or do we, like, if he, how forceful are we being with him?
I think maybe this is an opportunity to say, this is the one night of the year where you get to have some booze.
Oh, yes.
Because obviously there's no booze in jail. So you do this, you get booze. If not, you go back to Volcano jail. No more booze for the next year.
Is it good? And this is a genuine question. I don't know. Would it be good for someone if they're stuck in Volcano jail where they're slowly sweating to death to get hammered drunk and be full of alcohol and then go back into the jail cell?
I mean, it's suboptimal, but I feel like a terrible dictator can't be that weak. It's probably got some of the same good genes that Fred has, in terms of tenacity. So I feel like one night's not going to be so bad.
Sorry, I left the recording on, and that did pick up that you compared the dictator to old Fred, who everyone likes. So,
oh dear.
Sorry, yeah, it's just, you don't know when those microphones are recording. So people are a bit annoyed about Fred being compared. He's just after waking up from his coma. He's fine, nothing wrong. The other thing I'm going to mention is, again, genuinely, I have no idea who the leader of East Timor is. So just on the side of caution, genuinely, they could actually be a pretty decent person. I don't know that they're a dictator. It's a bit unfair. We're just pretending that he or she is a dictator.
I am criminally underinformed about the state of East Timor.
But yeah, I'm actually assuming, I say they're all right, they're fine. Oh, yes. So just with the whole Fred stuff, actually, we people are a bit annoyed by it. So we figure what we'll do is to make sure everyone knows that you're in charge, everything's fine, you're great. We're going to do a photo op, something like Vladimir Putin on a bear, that sort of thing. What type of photo op do you want? What do you want to do? I mean, we could go around to factories or whatever you want.
Oh, let's see, a good photo op. And this is to try and correct the Fred situation that has emerged. Is that right? I
suppose just to give your citizens, just a general sense of like, yeah, the Premier's still on it. She's in charge. She's great.
Sure.
Happy, no problem.
I think what seems logical to me is, since Fred just got out of the hospital, we're going to go to that hospital and we're going to thank all the people that worked on Fred.
Yes.
And kept that coma from veering into worse territory. And I think that's what we're going to do. So
it'll be pictures of you shaking hands with doctors and nurses and other patients. Do you want to go near other patients? Will I keep them away, or?
If it's like a broken leg type situation, then sure. Fine. we can hang out. If it's like a plague type situation, not real interested in getting too close to that. If it's like a gastrointestinal thing, maybe we just let them do their thing. But yeah, maybe we find somebody with like a broken leg, and we take a picture next to them, and let's give a raise to all of the medical people.
Yes, while you're there, just mention that.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Do you want to? I suppose we have 3 options here from the photographer. Do you want a picture of you like pointing to the X-rays as if you're telling the doctors how to fix a patient, or do you want one where you're throwing stents at patients, or do you just want to go with the friendly greeting of a patient?
You know what I think would be really fun is if me and the broken leg person, we take a bunch of old X-rays and we make like a, I don't know if you guys have this over there, but sometimes at bridal showers, one of the activities is you make a wedding dress out of toilet paper. So you get like a bunch of rolls of toilet paper and you have to make a wedding dress out of it. It's very silly. It's not something I would ever actually do.
Sounds deranged. I'm sorry, Premier. That sounds madness.
Sure. Okay. You're not wrong. That is 100% completely
That's what
correct.
You do for the night. You don't drink.
Oh no, there's drinking. There's definitely drinking involved. But...
Sorry, so you drink while making a toilet paper wedding dress, and you put it on?
Well, I think the bride stands still and everybody just kind of...
So she can't move. Wait, have you done this?
No.
Okay.
I'm very against shower games, baby shower games, bridal showers. no games at a shower. It's wrong. It's incorrect. However, I do think it would be really fun to get a bunch of old x-rays that aren't currently in use,
right.
old ones, and make like a little outfit out of it, like that would be a really fun activity.
Like a dress or suit or...
Sure, yeah.
I'm still baffled by, so you haven't taken part in the toilet roll wedding dress?
I have not, nor would I.
And you've never seen it?
No, I've seen it.
So you were at...
Showers in this country have gotten completely out of hand. And that is one of the reasons that I need to move to Volcania, because we would not do that shit over there.
So you were in a place where other people were sticking toilet roll onto a woman.
Yes.
As she stood there, and I presume people fed her alcohol, but...
Yes.
Okay, fine. I'm not... Right, okay.
I gotta find pictures of this and send it to you.
I do not believe you, and it's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
I'm making a note right now. I'm gonna find some pictures of this and I'm gonna send it to you.
No, that is a Lovecraftian horror. But you're gonna do that with X-ray pictures, old X-ray pictures for someone with a broken leg.
Yeah, I think that's...
Fred isn't getting in on this.
Fun.
So you met Fred, now you're having fun with the X-ray.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So, where was I going to go? Oh, yes. So we're actually finishing up World War III. We're finishing up World War III. The UN wants you to do a favor for them. To finish World War III, they need you to host a leader of a country.
Okay.
Do you know in what was it? Trump and Putin stand at the podium going, "Hey, we're friends, but we're not," or whatever. So a leader of a country is coming into your country. We just want to ask, what are you going to do to help end World War III, which the UN have insisted you have to, but also you don't want to make out as if you're best friends with this person, because to be quite honest, Ted Cruz was elected president of America. So it's him who's coming in. So, I mean, I don't think you want to be allies with him, I believe. So how would you react if he's standing there on the podium beside you? He's calling for the release of, I'm just going to call him Harry from East Timor. He's calling for Harry to be released.
I think in my speech, I make as many puns about Cancun as I possibly can.
Cool.
The whole speech is nothing but Cancun puns. I use the words, I use the word Cancun as many times as possible. I've instructed my speech writers to have a lot of fun with that. And
they have said they are calling them Cancun's. So do you think he would catch on to them?
Probably, but I don't know that I care.
But do you think it might just be me that your first instinct is to go, yeah, of course. I mean, he's not well, he mightn't, he might catch on to one or two of the obvious ones, but
he does frequently kind of put his foot in his mouth. He tried to do something with a limerick the other day, which got very sideways.
I mean, I live in Limerick, literally. So,
well, he was sullying your poetry.
Not first time. Okay, so he is, he's ignoring your Cancun's, and he is saying when the international press are asking him about has he taken in any of the fruit salad or anything that is bountiful in Volcania, he said he's more of a red meat man. He's a good old-fashioned American, red meat, Texan, stuff like that. He has called for Harry to be released. So the international press now are asking you, are you going to release Harry? He's been in there for 4 months now.
No.
Why?
Why should Harry get out?
Because it's the end of World War III.
Well, where's Harry going?
Back home.
We're not going to put him back in charge, are we?
Is that your job to decide where he goes?
I mean, before I let the guy out, if we're going to exile him to some, if he's going to be like exiled to Siberia, then okay, I'll think about letting him out. But
so you will let him go to Siberia, but anywhere else not allowed.
Yeah, from what I hear, Siberia sucks. So I'm comfortable with him being there. But yeah, if they're like, no, he's going to go back and rule that country again, then no.
Ted, you see, put a lot of money into East Timor to the new guys in charge. So they're also like, yeah, he's fine to come back here. So they're saying Yeah, we can let Harry back here. So, but you're still saying no, Siberia or nothing.
Yep.
Just blanking. Yeah.
I have to be a firm ruler at times.
Okay.
A generous ruler, but a firm one. And this is one of those times.
Right. So Ted is going to leave the country defenders. He's probably going to go off to the UN at some point or send whoever he sends to the UN to complain about that. The UN are probably going to be very happy with Volcania, because technically you have now kidnapped the former ruler of sovereign nation. But World War III is technically averted. That's the end of it. They finish it up. This is one I haven't actually asked, right? But teddy bears were named after Theodore Roosevelt, I believe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What toy would you have named after you?
I think a Little Mermaid, like a little mermaid doll, because I've got the red hair.
Yes.
And I'm on a volcanic island nation, and that all seems to fit together pretty well.
Do you want, and for some reason Billy Porter is in charge of this project, do you want to get a memo to her to make sure it doesn't look like the Little Mermaid, just for copyright? We don't want accusations.
Yes, and I think Billy is the exact right person for that job.
Perfect. They're doing it fantastic. The other thing is, we did have good news from Paul from finance. That we actually have a lot of money in the country. So he was just wondering, all the citizens want to build you a big statue. So yeah, we can go ahead with it. It can be a statue of anything. They were suggesting it'd be of you, but whatever you want. But if it is you, what pose or moment from your life do you want us to build?
First of all, I want it to be a very small statue. 20 I want it to be minuscule. I want it to be maybe like an inch tall.
Oh, okay.
Because people are always making big statues. Why not make a really tiny one?
You're going the opposite way. Okay.
Yeah, let's just make a really tiny one. So we make a tiny statue. Maybe we do like a power pose type situation where we have like the hands, and yes. That kind of situation. But it's very small. It's very, very little. And then we take the excess money that we would have spent on all of that bronze, and we use it to help more people.
Do you mean help more people in Volcania? Just housing, healthcare, all the usual social
Let's
programs.
make sure everybody there is covered. And then after everybody there is good, then maybe we can build some stuff over in East Timor.
Oh, we're going to send aid. Oh, is that just because you're not letting Harry out?
Yeah, I could throw him a bone, build some hospitals.
You're throwing a bone at Harry as well.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Throw a bone at Harry.
He earned it.
Poor Harry. I feel sorry for him now, to be honest. I know that we made up this guy and he was apparently a brutal dictator, but feels a bit unfair. But I do have only, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I technically have about 3 questions left. But Paul is after getting back on in finance. He actually made a mistake. He forgot the minus sign. So we're actually bankrupt. Whole country has no money. Sorry about that. Said Paul, not me. But he got a call from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. They are preparing to come in and kind of take over the country to make sure the finances are back up and running. So they asked, before they do that, do you have any quick fix? We're going to start pumping money out of this country solution to get out of this.
Selling weed seems obvious, right?
Drugs. So we legalize drugs.
Yes.
Right.
Let's legalize drugs. Let's pump up the weed tourism industry.
Legalize drugs.
That just makes sense.
Is it all drugs or just weed specifically?
Let's start with weed and see how that goes, and then.
And we can increase as we need money.
Sure. Okay. Yes, absolutely.
All drugs on table.
I don't know that I want to be necessarily like the blow capital of the world, but the weed capital of the world sounds manageable.
Cool. Another list.
Yeah, exactly.
People are making weed salad, which isn't as popular suddenly, but yes, it is still it just doesn't sound as nice. But yeah, okay, I'll tell the IMF we're hitting the drugs hard. Cool. Our country, Volcania, actually got into the football World Cup. So the whole country went mad, soccer mad. And unfortunately, in one of the knockout rounds, East Timor played our Volcania, and they beat him in the last minute of the game. Now, there was some cheating accusations involved because the centre forward for East Timor picked up the ball, stuck his middle finger at the camera, shouting, "I hate the Premier," and threw it into the net, and then lifted up his top and it said, "Release Harry." Now, the referee, who is Harry's sister, she allowed it, and their new president, or whatever they call him, they went on Twitter later that night saying, "Yeah, stick up another finger at the Premier." So do you want to respond to that? Or, I mean, your people are pretty furious. It was a quarterfinal.
Not everything is worth getting worked up about. And sports is one of the things that I do not get worked up about. And so in this particular instance, I'm going to say, yeah, sorry about the soccer thing, guys. Let's have a party to celebrate how far the soccer team did get, and leave it at that. And, sometimes it's best to not engage. And I feel like this is one of those times.
So even though that is very admirable, unfortunately, Fred was the manager. He had come out of the hospital and he got promoted. He got hired to be the manager of the team. It was a boyhood dream. He gave up several meals to become a soccer player, but actually couldn't. He's crushed. He's resigned. All the fans are seriously unhappy about it, and they kind of blame you for not pushing harder on it. Okay. Yeah, the polls have gone down a bit there. But you're happy.
Again, I just have to say how inspired I am by Fred and his grit and his determination.
He has wandered into the jail and like shaking hands with Harry. A photo op of their own, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, he's not. And they actually said in the headline, it said, "She burped in all our faces." But you're happy. You're just going to try and charm him continuously.
Yeah, but after a while, these things. One thing that I've learned today from this exercise is that there's, when you're the ruler of a nation, there's always something, right? There's no quiet days. There's no days off, right?
Yeah.
And so that gets exhausting after a while. So I think at the end of the day, if they're that dissatisfied with me after all of the fruit salading and small statuing and X-ray skirt making that I have done throughout my tenure.
Thing. Yes.
It was weird. It was fun though. We had a good time. If they feel that strongly about it, perhaps then we let Fred take over. He can be the new premier, and I'll retire in Switzerland. Well,
I was going to say, I'm going to get to that soon. I was going to say, regarding the statue, where were we putting that? Because that's very small. That bankrupted the country technically. So what? Where were we putting that?
The statue, I think, would be like on the edge of a fountain. Like you'd have a nice little fountain, and then on the edge, just a very small statue, just overlooking it.
It was very small. So, that could break very easily. Are you going to replace it, or are we just?
We'll leave that up to the elements.
Cool. So the last question I did have was, at a certain point, you're going to want to retire. Running a country is hard.
And I've completely fucked up your order of questioning, haven't I?
Honestly, they're just, yeah. One question starts midway to another one. You did get to the end before me, where I was going to say at a certain point you're going to retire or just leave. And I imagine we're going to have to, get everyone together to listen to this announcement. They might have to come up to your house. Is it a house or a cottage? I know it's on stilts or.
Oh no, it's a big compound.
Compound, yes. Yeah. So your compound. So all your people are going to wander up to your compound. They're not probably going to know what's happening. You're going to walk out and you're going to give them that speech to say your time has come. And I was going to ask, who do you want to make your heir? It just have to be someone who's actually alive, not your future granddaughter, whoever.
So, Fred seems pretty popular.
Oh, Fred is there and he's scowling at you a bit.
Seems like the candidate that people want. Tenacious. tenacity, you can't underestimate that quality in a ruler. And he's got it for days. Survived a coma. I think he'd be an excellent choice.
He is 113 now.
Well, if not him, then I've always been a fan of Madeleine Albright. Great at diplomacy, also a little long in the tooth, but just excellent at diplomacy. Seems to be a good person that wants to do good things. So if not Fred, then Madeleine.
Madeleine is about 90.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you. Sorry, she's 84. She's a good 30 years on Fred.
Well, Fred, I think, can give her plenty of longevity secrets, and between the two of them, they ought to be able to figure it out.
So you're going to have Fred. You're declaring Fred is the new premier with Madeleine Albright as his heir, his understudy, or
vice premier. Yeah,
vice premier. Now Fred is probably going to look to release Harry and immediately seize you and put you in the Volcano jail. Do you want to just make it? Do you want to make a quick dart to the Switzerland?
Yeah, let's do that. And if that's what he's up to, then maybe we go ahead and put Madeleine in the first position.
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose he's only doing this once he has power. So I mean, you've already made that decision. So do you want to? You're not gonna stay. You're getting on out of there, right?
Yeah.
So do you
think? Had a good run.
so you were literally running for the boat or plane?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I have a fake mustache on.
Should we take anything? I mean, I presume some of your advisors, like Billy Porter, is actually going to come with you.
Sure. Billy's indispensable.
Yeah. So are we telling Billy to grab as many fruit salads as we can? Don't think we're going to be able to buy some at least directly.
And more importantly, let's take the book of fruit salad recipes.
Yes.
We're taking that. We're taking Billy. We're taking the X-ray skirt.
Off the X-ray, the patient?
No, it's no longer on the patient. It's been in a museum.
Oh, they weren't allowed to keep it. Okay. Yes. So you've heisted the museum of your X-ray skirt.
Yes.
They probably should have seen that coming.
I would think so. Yeah.
The statue?
The statue, I'm going to leave the statue there.
Honestly, Fred toppled it. It wasn't as great a ceremony as they'd hoped. I mean, it's not a big statue.
Small.
Yeah. They kind of shook their hands shook their fists to the sky, going, "I can't believe she got another one over us." So you're okay. So you're ending your time in Volcania. Right. I believe so far, hopefully not the last one, as the only ruler who had to flee their own country. Kind of self-inflicted, be fair to say.
Sure. Yeah. But opportunities for learning and continuous growth all the way throughout. So my retirement in Switzerland, I now know what not to do. And what not to do is, trying to rule a country. It's a hard job and it's exhausting.
You're not going to try and rule Switzerland because you said there you learned some mistake. No. And we did plunder a bit of money from Volcania, right?
Yeah, definitely. Sure.
You're living wealthy.
Yeah.
In exile, in a way. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how your whole ruling Volcania goes. So yeah, that's still at the point where I don't have an outro. So I will say, do you actually want to, Andrea Bridges-Smith, not former premier of Volcania, do you want to plug any social media sites that you're on?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at @Bridges-Smith, all one word, and there's 2 S's in the middle there. And that's where you will be able to follow the Friday Fenix, which comes out, as the name suggests, every Friday afternoon. And and also I apologize to all of the Timorians out there in advance. Again, I'm sure I fucked something up along the way.
And I probably fed you bad information. It's probably a really bad Google search that just landed me on East Timor. It could have easily been Chad. country or husband.
Sure. Well, our best to the Chadians and the Timorians everywhere.
Yeah. And in general, in fairness, you only attacked one fictional person and then locked them in.
And he had it coming.
Yeah. Oh, you were adamant about that. That was crystal clear from the start. Okay, cool. I'm going to say goodbye and thank you to anyone and everyone listening. If you would like to subscribe and like, and especially apparently leave a review on podcasts, that's supposedly really helpful. This is the Tyrants in Training podcast, and I assume next week will be another episode. So thank you and goodbye.